Hello, this is Lizardo Toledo, and this is my journal about the first unit of this part of the term, which was media studies and cultural stereotypes. I think this unit was helpful in order to realize about the language people use to refer to different situations. When we had to analyze different types of news and different sources, it was useful for me at least to have or to take into consideration the language the media uses to refer different topics. I think it was useful as well in order to have different sources, not just take one when we get informed. Regarding to the planning process, my goal was to attend classes as much as I could because I had a problem with attendance last year. So in order to achieve my goal, I have an attendance list in my copybook where I checked every class I attend and I don't attend. I think it wasn't fulfilled because I missed 7 classes, which is a lot, taking into consideration that we have less classes this term because we have less hours of English. So I think that I should improve my attendance, and I have to keep with this goal in the second part of the term. Regarding to the feedback session, I think that I have to take into consideration the advice that the teacher gave me. One of the advice was that I have to look for different words. I have to improve my vocabulary, and I have to look for synonyms, which I think is very useful because writing is my worst skill, and so I was afraid of having a bad mark. I have to take into consideration this advice in order to improve my vocabulary. The other advice that the teacher gave me is that I have to use more connectors when I speak and when I write, and I have to change the connectors because I tend to repeat them all the time. So I think that I'm going to take this advice for the next term in the presentation task. Regarding to the teaching reflection, I think that language teachers give us many activities and many techniques that we can use when we became teachers. One of the techniques that I am willing to use when I become a teacher is the correction. Teachers at the end of the activity they are carrying out tend to make a pause and write on the board the mistakes that students have done. I think it's very helpful because it gives the opportunity to correct the mistakes that the students have done, and it's not overwhelming. They don't make students embarrassed because they correct all the mistakes, and this is a useful time to teach structures, teach vocabulary, and pronunciation. And students don't feel embarrassed when they are correct because it's a group correction, and that's good. The activity that I enjoyed the most and I think is very engaging is the poster session when we had to read a book chosen by the students. because it was very good, this activity, due to students could read for pleasure. They could read what they wanted to read. And when they had to expose, when they had to give their presentation, they were having fun making the presentations because they explained what they wanted to explain. So I think it's a very useful activity. Plus, group work, peer discussion, open discussions. I think that those activities are very useful to use when I become a teacher. So that's it.